And here we are. Better late than never. Hello and welcome to the Alien Invasion.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in Muyines along with Brad and thought that I was doing it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
That's you.
I don't know.
I didn't see that it was written that way. So
that's how I saw it. So I'm like, oh, I just assumed.
Boom. That's you.
Oh, okay. Hi. And welcome to the Alien Invasion number 217, recorded on Thursday, April 20th, 2017. I'm Anessa Muyines, along with Brad Ludwig. And coming up, stories about aliens and stuff. But
the stories that we have to tease this are UFOs actually analyze crop circles that they may or may not have made. We've also are going to be talking about an exoplanet that could actually has the best possible chance of supporting life. And
we'll talk about the 5 of the 10 absolutely worst aliens to be abducted by.
Yep, there you go. All this and more on this Alien Invasion.
Oh, man. When you don't feel well, you can tell.
Absolutely.
So, before all of that, though, our question. If humans were to begin colonizing another planet, how long would things last before vagrancy started taking place? How long would it take for people to be homeless on a new planet?
Well, I think when you begin colonizing, you have a solid plan for everybody's got a job. You can't really lounge about if you're the first group of people on a planet. So I think it would take at least a good, depending on their timetable, I would say 20 to 50 years, depending. I mean, once you have a solid civilization set up, a decent sized city, then you could actually afford to have a vagrancy problem. Because everybody would have to pull their weight, and they have a limited amount of supplies at the beginning. So if you're not pulling your weight, you're done.
Yeah, I wondered because, I mean, you also have other things like you're out here in the middle of nowhere on this new world, and it's a lot to take in. So I kind of just wonder if at some point after being there for, say, like 5 years, that someone just can't. They can't even. And they just kind of, they're like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna,
checking
out. And so that may also just depending on how things are structured, checking out of their responsibilities might be also checking out of their room or quarters or whatever it might be. So someone else can take their place that would actually be a productive member of society. So I wasn't sure. It came to mind. Seemed like the thing to ask. So.
Seems legit. All right. And we are going to stop that recording. And I know that Dave likes to break these up. Okay. A new recording. Oh, that's what. Okay. Got it. All right. On to the next portion. All right. Now we're going to hit some of the news here, and I'm going to start off with the story. One of the stories that we teased at the beginning. Shock claim. 3 UFOs made circles in field of rapeseed as they analyzed crops. Yeah, we'll get into it because this kind of gets weird. And of course, we get a little bit of Scott C. Waring in it. So, a video of crop circles found in a field of rapeseed in Tarleton, Gloucestershire, yesterday. God, I hope I did it right, Daryl Johnson. You let me know. Yesterday has been uploaded to YouTube. The clip has been seized upon by UFO investigator Scott C. Waring, who runs website UFOsightingdaily.com. He claimed that there were 3 UFOs involved, a main craft and 2 smaller orbs. He wrote on his website, "This crop formation was found this week and has some marks in the field that I believe were made by a spaceship landing in it to analyze the genetic makeup of the crop. Also, we see 2 orb smaller ships that move with it." Boy, you wrote that poorly. "Have you ever seen a glowing orb in the sky, then noticed on film it looked like it was a spinning moon orbiting it every second or two? Well, these marks are from those smaller orbs. Crop circles have long been alleged to be caused by alien visitations. However, Mr. Waring is known for making statements of fact in connection with alleged UFO evidence based on his own speculation." Okay, hang on a sec. Let's back this train
I feel
up.
like this is a contradiction of some sort.
If you were speculating,
That's
you're not
fact.
dealing in fact. Exactly.
Opinions.
So there you go. All right. There is nothing in the video uploaded to YouTube by the channel Mr. Euro or Mr. Gyro, depending on if they enjoy the food or not, which features many crop circles and other scenes filmed from the air by cameras on drones to suggest a connection to aliens. Crop circles, which often appear in the southwest of England, were exposed as elaborate hoaxes during the 1990s when many pranksters came forward to show how they made the often intricate designs using wooden planks. Despite this exposure, some alien chasers still believe they are left as signs by aliens or are even the landing marks of a UFO. And this came to us from express.co.uk.
High quality stuff.
High quality stuff.
Or H2O.
Maybe they were checking for GMOs. Maybe they were checking to see if there was extra Roundup in that particular crop. Who knows? But
Well, they're investigating their crop circles, right? Kind of.
I don't know.
So I'm wondering if they're checking to see.
It looks like they were investigating the crop, and the crop formation was found and supposed to be the remnants of this particular landing, which, as it was written, I mean, you obviously had questions as to what the heck was going on. So,
I wasn't sure if they were like, "Oh, it just made a crop circle. Let's see what it did to the crop."
Yeah.
No. Okay, never mind.
They,
Okay, so they were investigating crops, and the crop circles are a result of their investigation.
They were investigating the unfortunately named rapeseed.
Rapeseed.
Is it rapeseed?
I don't know. I'm renaming it.
Gosh, I hope so. Because that's just...
Rapeseed. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can always contact us, alien@gncasts.com, and let us know how it's pronounced. And then we'll all be the wiser. We're going to skip the shooting the shit portion here, and we are going to pause this because it's just you and me. Hey, what'd you do this week? We were together the entire time. So if I'm asking you this means I'm an asshole of a boyfriend who doesn't pay attention to anything that you do.
Or I could talk about like MC Escher's exhibit at the Woodston.
We could.
And tell people how awesome it is, and they should go see it should it venture anywhere near them.
Absolutely. All right. We'll do that.
Okay.
All right. Now it's time for shooting the breeze, as it were, and find out what's been going on with us lately. Anessa, why don't you share with the class what we did on Tuesday when we both took vacation?
We took the day off to go see the MC Escher exhibit at the Woodson Art Museum in town. It's here till May. It's actually really cool and quite impressive. And they had an artist downstairs, like an exhibit of like an artist that I can't find words today. So the artist was very inspired by MC Escher's use of perspectives and his art as well. I believe his name was like Robin Lowers bot. Lauer something.
If only there was a resource.
I know, right? I remember his name was Robin, and the first half of the last name is Lauer. And so anyway, his sketches, he does primarily like sketching with like pencils and charcoal or whatever, and like they were so detailed and so lifelike. You would see basically an image where you see he did a piece where he was like trying to show people how he sometimes does his artwork, and so, or how a piece comes together. So he's got a sketch in the middle of this image, and to the side of this sketch is what appears to be a photograph, but if you look at it closely, it's all a sketch, and it's incredibly detailed, and it's just so impressive. And yeah, like the dude's got talent. But MC Escher, his work was just amazing with the wood carving and the lithographs and
some of his original drawings too.
Yeah, some of his original drawings and sketches, and seeing the final product that he decided to go with for, I forget exactly what the name of the piece was, but it had the torpedo looking fish.
Yep, torpedo fish.
Torpedo fish. And they actually had one of the stone lithographs there, and it had a big X carved through it because that was the end of the run, and that was only like one of 5 or 6 surviving stones that they know of that MC Escher had created. So anyway, I highly recommend, if you are in an area that happens to have his work on display, or if this exhibit ends up at a museum near you, that you go and check it out, because it's just amazing. At least I thought it was amazing.
Oh, the torpedo fish image is Escher's work called Depth. And that was all in a woodcut. It's really fascinating to see his stuff. Robin Lauersdorf is the name of the other artist that was in the lower portion, showing his work that was inspired by MC Escher. And he's a local, and by local I mean state of Wisconsin artist. So
right, and his artwork is mostly on the whimsical side. So there's a lot of play. You've got his homage to the hands that MC Escher has drawn, but these hands, like one of them is trying to like save the picture by mopping up some spilled coffee.
Yep.
So perspectives.
Very.
Not so much on the reflection that MC Escher uses, but the different perspectives that he uses.
And the math that he did to produce those images is also talked about. So if you get a chance, you should probably, if it comes by your neck of the woods, you should check out the MC Escher exhibit.
Yes.
All right. And stopping that and starting anew with your story. Close the rapeseed. That needs a new name. I have declared that to be a terrible name for a crop. All right. Getting ready, and In 3, 2.
Earth can be shitty. Sometimes being whisked away by a passing starship sounds like a pretty good idea. However, it completely depends on who's behind the controls. Hanging with the arrival heptapods would be pretty chill. Being shanghaied by any of the following kidnap happy aliens, however, would not. And this is a list of 10. Well, the original article is a list of 10. I have gone through the list and picked every other one. So you only get like half the list. If you want to see, hear, read, whatever, the entire list, it is from Gizmodo. And so anyway, so we're starting from number 1, apparently. And number 1 is the Predator in Predators. In the earlier movies, predators came to Earth to conduct their hunting rituals and or brawl with the aliens. But in 2010's Predators, we finally learned what it would be like to be spirited away to a far-flung planet, having been deemed vicious enough to become designated prey for predators in training. No surprise, it's almost an immediate death sentence, unless you are a crafty scavenger played by Lawrence Fishburne. Even if you manage to survive, you're still stuck on a predator playground that's constantly being restocked by killer creatures cherry-picked from across the universe with very, very little chance of escape. The Greys in Communion. In this nightmarish tale, a man teeters on the edge of sanity after becoming convinced that he's been targeted by alien visitors. Whitley Strieber, who penned the film's best-selling source material, claimed the tale was based on his own real-life experience. Christopher Walken's typically passionate performance as Strieber suggests just how traumatizing spending time with the Greys would be, especially with the side effect of everyone around you assuming you're a complete whack job. Number 5, Them in the Forgotten. Grieving mother Telly, played by Julianne Moore, is already mourning the loss of her son in a plane crash when she awakens one day to find that nobody besides her remembers he even existed. And everyone's acting like she's completely nuts. Fortunately, her motherly love is enough to set things right in the end, but the aliens who grabbed her child, faked a plane crash, wiped the memories of seemingly everyone in Telly's orbit, and have various Earthbound government agencies under their control, are definite contenders for the cruelest kidnappers in the galaxy. Yeah, those guys are dicks if you've not seen the movie. The aliens in Jose Chung's From Outer Space, The X-Files, like one of my favorite episodes of The X-Files ever. This third season entry is a fan favorite for a reason. Despite the show's reoccurring alien themes, it's a standalone Monster of the Week episode with plenty of trademark quirkiness. Exhibit A, Jesse Ventura and Alex Trebek cameo as Men in Black. As is tradition, it's not entirely clear if the aliens in this particular episode are real or a part of a government conspiracy, or both. But many of the people involved in the tale end up dead or just thoroughly confused. Not good for them, but great for the sci-fi author who pens a book about the incident, and excellently fun, if again, a little confusing viewing for us. And last on the list, next to last if you read the whole list, The Martians and Mars Needs Moms. We've covered the various unpleasantries of this movie before from Gizmodo, but it still stands that being abducted by Martians who want to suck your momness so it can be used by child-rearing robots would be abundantly shitty, if not as terrifying as the other aliens on the list. Reminder, Mars Needs Moms is not a horror movie. It's an animated comedy for the kiddies. Also, sorry, Dave, for saying shitty so many times. That's pretty shitty. You'll have to bleep out shitty. So anyway, that actually came from one of our listeners. Joanna, thank you. Thank you very much. She posted it to our Facebook page, and I thought it was kind of cool and decided to share. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm stopping the recording.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Well, next up here, we've been hearing a lot about exoplanets, and now that we've found some that are closer by than we thought ever possible, they're now able to focus some newer technology at it, and this is really interesting. A new exoplanet may be most promising yet in search for life. A prime planet listing has just appeared on the cosmic real estate market, possibly the most promising place yet to search for signs of life beyond the solar system, the astronomers who discovered it say. It's a rocky orb about 1.5 times the size of Earth, about 40 light years from here. It circles a dwarf star known as LHS 1140 every 25 days. An orbit that puts it in the Goldilocks zone, where temperatures are conducive to liquid water and perhaps life as we know it. The planet was discovered by we're going to go with Me-Earth South survey at the Cerro Tololo, Inter-American Observatory in Chile, an array of small telescopes that looks for the dips in starlight when planets pass in front of nearby stars. The depth of the dip told them how big the new planet is. They have determined that it is about 6 times as massive as Earth by using a spectrograph called HARPS for high accuracy radial velocity planet searcher. At the European Southern Observatory, also in Chile, to measure how much the planet perturbed its home star. The resulting density puts the little world into a rapidly growing class of super-Earths. The star, LHS 1140, God, there's got to be a better name, is about 1/5 the size of our sun. In its close orbit, the planet receives about half as much energy as Earth does from its own sun, enough for a microbe or something more complicated to make a living. This discovery continues a recent run of promising new planets circling nearby dwarf stars. Last summer, there was a discovery of Proxima b, which we talked about, the nearest star to us, only 4.2 light years from here. In February, astronomers discovered a system of 7 Earth-sized planets circling a dwarf star known as TRAPPIST-1. According to Dr. Charbonneau, who originated the Me-Earth system, red dwarf stars outnumber stars like our sun by 10 to 1 in the 30 light-year bubble that constitutes our block of the cosmos. Once upon a time, such planets were not looked upon favorably in the extraterrestrial life sweepstakes because they were almost undoubtedly tidally locked, keeping one side faced to its star and the other facing out into space. That would result in a burning hell on one side and an eternal frostbite on the other. Neither side suitable for life. Now we love them, Sarah Seeger, a planetary expert at the Massachusetts, just say MIT, said at a recent meeting on the origins of life sponsored by Harvard at the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in Cambridge. If they have an atmosphere, they can harbor life. Astronomers said that the new planet offers the best hope so far to test that proposition. When the planet crosses in front of LHS 1140, the atmosphere acts like a filter, leaving an imprint on the star's light that could betray the presence of water and other molecules important for life. This will be a job for powerful new telescopes that we've talked about, like the James Webb Space Telescope, due to be launched next year, or the giant ground-based telescopes like the Giant Magellan and the European Extremely Large Telescopes, we've talked about those too, now being built in Chile, Dr. Charbonneau said. But the key point is yes, these are really exciting ideas to test, he continued. Do temperate, rocky, M-dwarf planets retain their atmospheres, and do they have life? This world enables those studies. So there you go. That came from the New York Times just yesterday, actually. So some promising stuff when it comes to extraterrestrial life. Now, not necessarily advanced civilizations that are going to travel the stars, but like we was saying, microbes, just other types of life that could exist out and about in the nearby region to us.
Cool. So it circles a dwarf star every 25 days.
Mm-hmm.
So 25 days is a year.
Yeah. So it's like a month for us is a year on that planet.
So that would be 14.6 months in Earth years, the equivalent. So 365 days divided by 25 is 14.6. 14.6 times 36, my age. Actually, no, I'm totally doing that wrong. I don't know. I'm done. Oh, no, that's right. Would be 525.6 years. I'm 525.6 years old on that planet.
And I'm
671.6.
Yeah. That's like Time Lord years.
If I did math right.
Something seemed a little hanky there, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wait, I don't know.
Say, if you're listening to this and you're going, wow, your math is not quite right. Again, you can contact us at aliens at, is it alien or aliens? Gosh, now I got it all turned around in my head. I don't normally run the show. And of course, Dave, you stripped this out of here. Boo! All right. Well, anyways, you can always go to gncasts.com and find our contact page, and you can straighten us out there. We'd love to hear from you.
No, that would be right. Because you have, if I do 36 Earth years multiplied, and there's 14.6 months in each year. That's right? 14.6 times 36.
You're converting years into days.
Well, because they said 25 days is a year. So we have 365 days in a year. Right? I don't know. I'm not feeling that great, so it's whatever.
So it would be 12 years for every one of ours. Approximately. 12 and a half, maybe 13.
How does that end up being if they're 25 days per year?
It takes us 365 days to travel around our sun, right?
Yes.
That equates to a year. If this thing is flipping around their sun at 25 days, you would have to
divide 25 days into 365 days? Days to days?
I don't know.
It's whatever.
Whatever. Mathematicians, contact us and set us straight. We'd love to hear from you. And stop. All right. Next bit.
Are we ready?
Almost. And yes.
Okay, time for sightings. At approximately 2100 hours, well, closer to 2200 hours on Thursday night, December 29th, 1994, a mother with her 6 children was driving north on Zering Cutoff Road in southeastern Washington state, just 5 miles north of the Snake River, which is really pretty. Several of her children suddenly started shouting and called the mother's attention to 3 extraordinarily bright lights above a recently harvested wheat field off to the right, east side of the road. At first, they thought that the lights were the landing lights of an airliner at low altitude, perhaps making a forced landing in the field and flying directly toward them. Then one of the older children suggested the lights were the headlights on a semi, an 18-wheeler. But they almost immediately realized that description didn't fit either. Suddenly, the family began to see the objects that were attached to the 3 lights, and they were awed by the vision. They saw 3 coal-black delta-shaped craft with articulating structures on their noses, from which the blinding lights were radiating. They appeared to be scanning the ground ahead of them. The objects apparently locked in tight, unwavering formation, slowly drifted across the road and car at a very slow speed, slowly turning left, south, and proceeded south parallel to the road the family was on. The mother submitted an excellent 3-page report together with a drawing of one of the crafts she reportedly witnessed that night. In addition, she submitted a detailed drawing of the area and the approximate flight plan or the flight path of the objects, which they don't include on this site, but they do include the drawing of the craft, which looks kind of trippy. You have I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. So you've got a triangle is what we're going to start with. And you're going to lay the triangle on the table. And then you're going to get 3 hot dogs. And lay one on each, like one in the middle and then one on each side. But inside the triangle, not like outside. And then that makes me think of, oh, you know what? Hot dog and a bun. There you go. So you take a triangle, and then you take a hot dog bun, and then you put the hot dog in the middle, and then you snip off the tip at the top, at the point of the triangle. Just the tip. And that's what I imagine. I'm really terrible at describing things, and I'm sorry. So, anyway, the mother reported that the objects were right above their car. They gave off a barely perceptible humming sound, like an electric refrigerator. And they were close enough that a, quote, person with a good throwing arm could have hit them with the rock, unquote. When I talked with her on January 1st, 1995, our first call of the year, she was still seemingly upset by the experience. She volunteered that she was frightened to either drive or even go outside after dark, which is not uncommon among people who have had recent UFO experiences. And there's a note, ships of quite similar shape have been reported to the center from all over the country. And the center is the National UFO Reporting Center, or NUFORC. That's where this sighting comes from. So just think, there's lots of triangular shaped plates with hot dogs on them flying across the country. Something to think about when you look at the stars tonight.
That sounds amazing.
Doesn't it?
All right. Oh boy. I didn't grab it back. Shame on me.
Mine's not that great.
I'm going to have you go first.
Okay. Hello. Up next is picks and warnings. Whoop whoop. So my pick and or warning is an app called Smashy City, which is from the folks that brought you Crossy Road. I think I used Crossy Road as a pick like a year or so ago. Anyway, the app is available on Smashy City. I'm done. The app is available on the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, and I believe it's free. Yes, it is free. And you can earn different characters. You can earn characters that look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, or a Xenomorph, or an alligator, penguin, crocodile, transformer. All sorts of crazy shapes. And one of the shapes happens to be I guess the premise of the game is as it sounds. You are a Godzilla-looking character that goes around town smashing buildings, and you get points, and you have to try to avoid being blown up or killed or whatever by various tanks and helicopters and stuff flying around town trying to stop you from mass destruction. So, one of the characters that you can unlock is a flying saucer. And the flying saucer, to me, is a bit more challenging than going around and smashing buildings, because as the UFO, you don't want to smash into buildings because it causes damage to your ship, which makes sense. So you're having to avoid buildings, avoid being shot by tanks and helicopters while abducting cows throughout the city. So for some reason, apps really love abducting cows as their animal of choice.
They're tasty.
They are tasty. Who doesn't love beef? Vegans. Or vegetarians, I suppose. But anyway, so
Phew. Sorry about that. My Chrome browser just totally puked. And yeah, so we're back, and we're going to have to restart Ness's segment so we can get the recorded audio. Sorry, everybody.
I thought you were recording it. Oh, is it through the browser?
I'm recording it through Zencaster,
Oh, that's
which is a
through
cloud service.
You'll have to check on your boy. He just tugged at the handle.
kitten.
Christ, cat. Come on, cat.
Come on.
Kitten, come on. Killing myself in here. Come on, cat. Don't pull his tail. Ah, Christ, kitten. Come on, kitten. Come on, kitten.
Okay. Furlock!
Just leave him be.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, come on.
All right, pandemonium has broken out in our household.
I'm ready to sleep.
Okay, and you're up.
All right. Smashy City is my pick. It is from the folks that brought you Across the Road. It is free in the Google Play Store and iTunes Store. The premise of the game is you start out as a Godzilla-looking character, basically going through town and wreaking havoc. You're smashing buildings. The Smashy City is the name. There are various characters that you can unlock. There are some that look like King Kong, penguins, rabbits, crocodiles, transformers, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, xenomorph, kind of. And one that I unlocked was a UFO, a saucer, a flying saucer. And as opposed to a lot of the other characters where you're going around and smashing things, you want to try to avoid smashing into buildings, avoid being hit by tanks and helicopters while trying to abduct cows from the city. So if you're impatient and don't want to play every day to unlock coins and cat
It's fine. Landed on his feet.
so I don't know what I was saying. So yeah, my pick. Smashy City.
Here you go. And my pick this week is the RPG campaign setting called Aethera, which is the game system Pathfinder, which is essentially Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. And they have created a sci-fi, star-traveling, star-faring system. And there are a number of alien races that you could run into. Some of them on the list are the Erathai. It's very hard to pronounce. They're plant-like creatures with elemental powers. Scrolling through here because I just got to read it a little bit. It just released from a Kickstarter that I was a part of. And here we go. There's like a bear-like race called the Akanta. And actually they are bear, lion, some more anthropomorphic type life forms, and there is an artificial race of biomechanical structures called the phalanx. Some of the drawings for these are amazing. One guy looks like he's one of these phalanx. Looks like he's dressed in a zoot suit. And let's see. And there are some other races, things like vampires, cat that essentially are like vampires and cat folk, and all sorts of different races that you'll be able to play. And also there are some that are kind of familiar, like a tiefling or a dwarf, or I'm sorry, a goblin. So while there is sci-fi elements to it, there's also some familiar things if you're more of a fantasy type person. So if you get a chance, check out Aethera, and that is from, oh shoot, trying to remember the company. Robert Brooks put it together. Oh, there we go. Encounter Table Publishing is the one that, well, they're the ones that put it out. But yeah, check it out, Aethera. I think you'll dig it. Okay, that portion's wrapped up. Okay, you want to wrap it up then?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, so that's going to do it for this edition of the Alien Invasion, a Galactic Network podcast. If you would like to read more about the stories that we covered in this episode, click the links in the show notes. We would like to thank Monkey Warhol for providing our intro music. It's a song called Alien Syndrome, and you can find it at soundcloud.com/Monkey Warhol. Monkey Warhol also has a new EP out called EP4, and you can find it at monkeywarhol.bandcamp.com/album/EP4. Also to Retvard von Dernberg, a composer from Germany, for our closing song called Be Water. Learn more about him and his music at thecaravel.net. Also thanks to Ben Olson for recording our disclaimer audio at the start of this episode, benolson.com. And thanks for joining us for this incredibly awkward episode of the Alien Invasion. Final thoughts, Brad?
I got nothing.
All right, peace.
Word. All right, and that's it for the Alien Invasion. Thank you for those of you who have watched throughout, and we'll see you next time. And Dave should probably be with us next time. So yeah, we'll have the regular group of 3. Okay, bye.
Bye.